At 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, the metallic snap of bolt cutters echoed across the quiet suburban streets like gunfire. My security chain was being cut, my property was under threat, and the woman responsible, Vanessa Kensington, the HOA president, was grinning like she'd won. But she hadn't seen what was coming. Not yet. My name is Leah Trent, and I'm a teacher, a mother, and a veteran spouse. I never imagined that my quiet life would erupt into a whirlwind of legal battles, corruption, and personal danger. All it took was one HOA tyrant, a stolen vehicle, and a neighborhood willing to ignore the rules until I refused to. The stakes were colossal: millions in HOA misappropriated funds, military families' property at risk, years of trust and safety evaporating before my eyes. This is a story of courage, justice, and community resilience, how ordinary citizens faced an extraordinary threat and fought back. Willow Creek Heights had always been tense, its perfect lawns hiding undercurrents of control. Vanessa had spent 7 years as HOA president, turning regulations into instruments of intimidation. Then she set her sights on military families, believing we were distracted, vulnerable, and too far away to fight. She miscalculated. The moment I realized the depth of her corruption, I began documenting everything: emails, recordings, HOA meeting minutes, financial statements, security footage. Every night, my living room became a war room, filled with stacks of folders, spreadsheets, and plans meticulously crafted to expose a network of intimidation and fraud. Neighbors were wary, some feared retaliation, but as evidence mounted, outrage replaced fear. Veterans, retirees, parents, and local citizens joined our cause, each contributing surveillance footage, witness testimony, and intelligence on the HOA's abuse. Then came the night of escalation, a raid. The HOA, desperate to assert control, enlisted Greg Porter, a former contractor with grudges, to disrupt our preparations. They didn't anticipate my planning, my connections, or the overwhelming force of truth on our side. The morning of the raid, I anticipated chaos. Cameras were active, locks reinforced, legal counsel on standby. Vanessa and Greg arrived, confident in their power. She shouted commands, directing him to seize property, misrepresent authority, and manipulate records. But as bolt cutters met locks, federal agents emerged, precise and unyielding. Every move they made was documented. Every violation, embezzlement, obstruction, threats to military families, was captured on video, recorded for posterity. I reached out to my neighbors for support, showing the evidence I had gathered. They reacted with surprise, concern, and eventually solidarity. United, we became witnesses, documenting each unlawful action and amplifying the weight of the truth. In those tense hours, the stakes became tangible. My living room, once a quiet place of routine, transformed into the command center for our fight. Charts, spreadsheets, and surveillance footage covered every surface. Together with Harold Finch, we refined our strategy, ensuring that when law enforcement arrived, every violation, every manipulated record, and every threat would be impossible to dismiss. My neighbors lined the streets, cameras ready, phones recording, hearts pounding. Greg Porter attempted to intimidate and disrupt, unaware that every move was being captured. Residents, initially hesitant, now became collaborators in exposing the abuse. The morning sunlight caught every expression, every misstep, and every illegal maneuver, turning what was meant to be an act of fear into a record of accountability. Vanessa and Greg's confidence evaporated with each federal officer's command. In the HOA boardroom, Leah Trent and Harold Finch confronted the perpetrators with undeniable legal evidence. Every piece of manipulated document, every act of obstruction, and every instance of intimidation was laid bare. Vanessa sat shocked, gripping her chair, the arrogance she once displayed replaced by disbelief. The law acted swiftly, taking control of both people and property, ensuring no escape from accountability. The result was both surreal and cathartic. The HOA tyrants, once untouchable, were now the ones under scrutiny. Cameras caught every expression, from smug satisfaction to panic stammering, until the final realization set in: their reign was over. Federal agents apprehended Greg and Vanessa, neighborhood residents recording the scene. Chaos unfolded outside the HOA office, but amidst it, a sense of justice and relief washed over everyone. Weeks passed. Willow Creek Heights began to heal. Streets once tense with fear now buzzed with conversation and camaraderie. The investigation revealed staggering corruption, millions misappropriated, systematic harassment of military families, and egregious violations of federal and state law. Vanessa faced 8 years in federal prison for theft, obstruction, civil rights violations, and racketeering. Greg received 6 years, and HOA funds were restored. Temporary federal oversight replaced the board until democratic elections could ensure transparency. Our community transformed. Open forums replaced secret meetings, bylaws now explicitly protected residents, and children played where fear had once reigned. I became a symbol of resilience. My story went national, featuring in media outlets, congressional hearings, and law enforcement seminars. I founded the Trent Foundation for Community Rights, funding legal aid for military families nationwide. Willow Creek Heights became a model. Transparency, accountability, and justice were no longer abstract ideals, they were enforceable standards. Years later, at the first Willow Creek Freedom Day, hundreds gathered in celebration. Children laughed, veterans saluted, and neighbors shared stories of survival and courage. I stood quietly, watching the legacy of justice and community solidarity unfold. Justice had been served the right way. The HOA, once a source of fear and oppression, was now a lesson in accountability, courage, and collective action. Every misappropriated dollar returned, every abused family supported, and every law upheld became proof that ordinary people, armed with courage and organization, can dismantle corruption. The story of Willow Creek Heights is a blueprint, a testament that when truth, documentation, and community meet oppression, justice prevails. The smell of barbecues replaced fear, the laughter of children replaced whispers of intimidation, and the community, stronger than ever, became a symbol for neighborhoods nationwide. Courage, preparation, and unity had won the day, proving that no one, not even a powerful HOA tyrant, is above the law.